Today we're going to be talking about objects in JavaScript. Objects are a way of grouping data together. As an example, say we want to create a phone book application, so we might represent each person in the phone book as an object. So here's an example. I'm going to define this variable that's going to be an object, and the variable will be named person. And in this variable, I define what we call key value pairs. So what this means will become evident later. So right now I'm going to create two key value pairs, which are name and email. And when I evaluate this, I have saved an object into the variable called person. So now when we evaluate this variable, we see we get back the object. And now what we can do is we can look up each of the entries inside this object. For instance, say I look up the key name, so I get back John Smith. And say I look up the key email, I get back his email address, as you might expect. So basically this object in JavaScript is very similar to what you might call an hash table or a dictionary or an associative array in a different language such as Perl, Ruby, or Python, which is to say, it works very similarly to an array, except instead of using numbers inside your square brackets, you use a key, which is a string. So there are two ways to access what we call properties of an object, which are just these values. So one is the one I've already showed you, which is to use square brackets, and within the square brackets you put the key string. The other way of doing it is to use the dot notation, which is to say you put the dot, then the name of the object. So if you notice, the second notation looks very much like the object syntax that you might see in C or Java. So if you want to set the value of one of these properties to something new, all you have to do is use the assignment operator. Like for instance, I can change the name of this person to something else. And now if I look at my variable, you can see that the name has been updated. And likewise, I can use the dot notation in exactly the same way. So that works as expected. And one more thing we can do is we can actually insert any property, any new property. Like for instance, say I want to also have this guy's phone number. So all I have to do is define his phone number like so, which also works as expected. So now we have the phone number in this object as well. So even though the JavaScript has never seen this phone key, it just helpfully creates this new property for us and inserts in our value. So notice though that if we try to access stuff that we have not defined yet, like say we have not defined this guy's street address, it's going to return as undefined, so that's not a good thing. So usually you want to test whether these properties are actually defined before you try to use them. Now if you're familiar with object-oriented programming, you might notice that we've been setting and accessing members with complete disregard for encapsulation, which means we can't actually hide variables here. So JavaScript actually doesn't have true private variables, but later on we'll learn methods that you can do to simulate a private variable. So one final thing you can do is you can actually create methods, which is to say functions that are associated with this object. So I'm going to create a simple one. Say I'm going to define say name. So I'm going to make this a function that returns name. Let's see here. I want it to return this name. So what's going to happen is now I can run person.sayName, just like a method, and it's going to return. It's going to run just like it's a function associated with the object. So this is basically JavaScript's methods, object methods, and that's about all for JavaScript objects.